Let me say to the three of you, thank you for agreeing to serve our nation. Thank you for going to the Department of Justice. I will note my Democrat colleagues who are suddenly deeply concerned about the rule of law all seem to have entered the witness protection program during the 4 years of the Biden presidency, when the Biden Department of Justice was the most lawless and partisan Department of Justice our nation has ever seen. And not a single Democrat on this committee could be bothered to be concerned in the slightest about the weaponization of the Department of Justice to attack President Biden's political opponents, about Merrick Garland's refusal to enforce the law, including refusing to protect Supreme Court justices when a clear federal statute made it a crime to protest and threaten the lives and families of Supreme Court justices, and yet the Biden Department of Justice refused to follow that law. Now, Mr. Sauer, I will note that you and I share a lot of legal history. We both attended the same law school. We both clerked for the same judge, Michael Ludig, on the Court of Appeals. You clerked for the late, great Justice Antonin Scalia. We both started our legal career practicing under Chuck Cooper, one of the finest Supreme Court litigators on the planet. You've been nominated to an incredibly important position, Solicitor General of the United States, a position frequently referred to as the 10th Justice. It is the only position in the entire federal government that is required by statute to be, quote, learned in the law. I will note I am grateful that is not a requirement to serve on the Senate Judiciary Committee. But I would ask you to share with this committee and share with the American people what is the responsibility of the Solicitor General, and how will you carry out this task if and when you are confirmed?
Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the opportunity to meet and discuss legal issues facing the United States. I believe I responded to earlier questions that the role of the Solicitor General is to defend both the statutes of the United States that are enacted by Congress and the executive actions of the executive branch. The Solicitor General does so on behalf of the client of the U.S. Department of Justice, which is the United States, the American people, and does so consistent with and with fidelity to the Constitution and the rule of law.
Well, thank you, and I have every confidence you will do exactly that. Mrs. Dhillon, as a Sikh woman who immigrated to the United States at a young age, how has your background shaped your understanding of civil rights, and how can that perspective enhance the Civil Rights Division in advocating for all Americans from all backgrounds?
Thank you for that question, Senator. I would put it this way. My faith itself teaches, first, openness to all, respect for all, and protecting the defenseless. Those are among the tenets of the Sikh faith. And so that is why you see so many Sikhs volunteering in war-torn areas and doing relief work around the world. And so it's actually a tenet of our faith to contribute towards those efforts. So it's been my entire career that I have served in that capacity, motivated by my faith and my teachings in my home. And my career has also demonstrated many instances, as other senators have mentioned, of pro bono work, doing work for people who could not get a lawyer otherwise. And so I'm proud of that work. In the Civil Rights Division, there is a long and storied history of doing exactly the same thing, which is standing up for the most disadvantaged individuals in our United States and ensuring equal justice for all. And so I would definitely be informed by those lifetime experiences, including 32 years as a lawyer representing the underprivileged.
And let me ask you, how have your experiences as someone who's been subjected to racial profiling and abuse, and in particular the incident in 1995 when you and your husband were attacked on a bus, can you please briefly describe that and how that will inform how you will carry out the roles running the Civil Rights Division?
Well, thank you, Senator. In the early 90s, as a newlywed, I got a terrible phone call from the chaplain at NYU that my husband, who was a medical resident in that program, had been shot and brought to NYU. He'd been shot in the chest by a racist who confronted him on a crowded New York City bus during rush hour and told him to get out of his face and to apologize, and used numerous ethnic slurs. And when my then husband refused to apologize, he was shot. And so it really brought home to me that no matter what your education, your affluence, your background, there are instances in which bigots and racists will operate in society to try to harm people, and it is up to lawyers to then stand up to that and make sure that there are severe punishments. Unfortunately, that was New York City, and in that case, the person was not severely punished for shooting my then husband in the chest.
Wow, that's truly horrible. Mr. Reitz, I have one question for you. Will you tell this committee what the rule against perpetuities is?
If the chairman will grant me, I know that we're over time, if I may answer.
You may answer.
No interest is good unless it must vest, if at all, not later than 21 years after some life and being at the creation of the interest.
Very good. I want to enter into the record multiple letters in support of Mr. Reitz's nomination, a letter from the National Association of Police Organizations, a letter from former editorial board members of the Texas Review of Law and Politics, a letter from the MLK Association of Texas, a letter from the chairman of the Board of Regents at Texas Southern University, a letter from the Village in the Valley, and a letter from Pastor Willie Davis and Houston City Council members at Willie Davis. And without objection, these are all entered into the record. And Senator Welch, you are recognized.
Thank you very much.